Well, look, if you have ever forgotten your mask at home during your morning walk or been slapped with a fine for forgetting to put it back on, this next story will be sure to anger you. In New South Wales alone, punters have been hit with $2.5 million in COVID-19 fines, with 9 News reporting thousands of people are being hit with fines every day. Fair enough, you might think. They are putting us all at risk by ignoring the health orders. The only problem is there appears to be a class of citizens immune to the need to obey these health orders. Journalists. You read our headlines every day warning about the consequences of not following the rules, and you often listen to sanctimonious and preachy dribble that the most self-righteous of my colleagues spew out into society. A lot of this comes from radical left-wing website The Guardian. And this week, we couldn't help but notice The Guardian's investigations editor, Ms Davies, swanning around Sydney's COVID-19 press conference after it had ended without a mask on her face. A clear breach of the rules. Awkward for such a preachy website, even more awkward for Ms Davies, who wrote in July, "How will those communities react when they continue to see TV footage of thousands in Bondi walking without masks?" Indeed, no one likes double standards, Anne. And when we put questions to The Guardian's editor, Lenore Taylor, this was a response from a spokesperson. Ms Davies wore her mask throughout the New South Wales press conference today. At the end of the press conference, she removed her mask while attempting to ask Brad Hazzard a question as he was leaving. Sometimes reporters at press conferences remove their masks to be better heard. After Mr. Hazzard left the press conference, footage clearly shows Anne with her mask in both hands. She then inadvertently holds onto her mask for a few seconds before realising she did not have it on and then apologised to those around her. She then put her mask back on. The Guardian and Ms Davies believe everyone should follow the public health rules, and we encourage all media outlets to report those rules. Oh, so Ms Davies was simply in the process of asking the health minister a question before waiting a few seconds to put the mask back on. Unfortunately for Anne, we are a TV station and have the full footage, and it hardly looks like Anne waited only a few seconds before apologising. Here we can see Anne having a chat with journalists before looking down at her mask. She still doesn't put it on, and oh, now she's having a wander around, and then she finds a friend she attempts to engage in conversation with before eventually walking off camera with her mask still not on her face. Is 15 seconds a few seconds? You be the judge. In my opinion, what we just saw does not match the picture The Guardian painted of a woman briefly removing her mask to shout desperate last questions at the health minister. But this is how The Guardian does its journalism. Reality doesn't matter when you have a narrative.